Hey geeks, it's Minx, and it's time for our Game of Thrones review. It was episode 6 this week, and to be honest, it was an episode full of speeches and anticlimactic moments. Um, there was some really cool stuff, there was a couple of cool reveals, but other than that, I mean, it was pretty much what I would call a setup episode. It's kind of like a filler episode, but you know, it's working to set up for future payoffs, which I hope we get. Um, so let's get into it. Probably the coolest thing of the episode was the reveal of Bran and Mira get saved by someone who apparently knows them. And it turns out to be the missing Uncle Benjen, and it looks like they're combining his story with the story of Cold Hands in the books. George R. R. Martin has said before on prior manuscripts that Cold Hands is not Uncle Benjen, but I guess for the show it was just easier to combine the two. It's either that or he was just trying to throw us off on something. That was probably my favorite part of the episode. Um, some other cool stuff that happened. We finally got to meet Samwell's family, the Tarleys. Randall Tarley is just as big a douche as I assumed he would be. It was magnificently played. And I have to feel sorry for Sam just watching him get torn down by his dad like he did. It was really, really sad. But kudos to him for stealing Heartsbane. I don't know what he plans on doing with that. I'm also wondering if he's still planning on going to the Citadel to become a Meister, because if he doesn't, technically he'd be on the run from being part of the Watch, so I don't want him to get cut down for that, as well as stealing the sword. Um, Over in Bravos, we've got Arya kind of stalking, getting to know her target, and ultimately gets to know her a little bit too well. She makes some comments to Arya that hit home about the fact that she has a very expressive face. And Arya pretty much gives up the ghost. She gives up trying to be nobody and ends up saving the lady by knocking the poisoned rum out of her hand and then telling her to watch out for the chick who was after her job. And then goes immediately after that to go fetch Needle because she knows that the waif is going to come after her because apparently the waif has a chip on her shoulder where Arya is concerned, and Jaqen gives her permission to do so under the grounds that do not make her to suffer. So we'll see. I'm hoping the payoff for that is a really nice, awesomely choreographed fight scene where she just hacks at the waif. So she's getting set for that. One of the big anticlimactic moments is the Tyrell army marches into King's Landing and right up to the Sept with Jaime, and there's no fighting. There was no fighting. They literally just walked there, and it looks like the High Sparrow outsmarted them by using Tommen, soft little Tommen, against them. And apparently Tom's Kingsguard now has new armor that has the 7-pointed star and a crown on it, which differs from the two prior designs. The one that Jaime was wearing in the episode, which is with the various decorative antlers and a crown on the front. Or, you know, if you go like first season, it was really cool, like Celtic knot designs. So it's showing a unified front of the Kingsguard and the Faith, and so bringing that kind of together. They got majorly outplayed. Because Jaime was a part of that, in the following scene, he actually gets dismissed from the Kingsguard and is told he can't be Lord Commander, and he just needs to go head up the Lannister army, which makes some of the trailers make more sense. So we've got that. He's obviously pissed. Him and Cersei plot and plan, and then have a weird, nasty twincest makeout session. That's all angsty and stuff. We get a scene with the Freys, with Walder Frey belittling a couple of his kids when they tell him, you know, hey, we lost River Run to the Blackfish, and he's all pissy, and he's talking about how everybody's laughing at them because they can't do anything right, and he's going to pretty much use Edmure uh, to barter a deal or something. Um, I don't think that's going to go the way he plans, but we'll see what happens. Um, let's see. The other kind of anticlimactic and speech kind of thing is at the very end of the episode, uh, Danny runs back into Drogon and mounts him and flies in, and she gives this speech like, we're gonna go and we're gonna take it. I'm choosing all of you as my blood riders, and this is just epic and massive and awesome, and it was kind of underwhelming. It's not as as pumped as I feel like it should. It didn't feel as pumped as it should be when you're sitting in Dragonback. I understand that it is a setup episode. It's a one that's setting up for future stuff, but on a whole, it was rather anticlimactic. So I'm gonna go ahead and just give it a middle of the road B. I loved the Benjen / Cold Hands reveal. That was probably the coolest part of the episode. The weakest part is probably the scenes between Marjorie and Tommen, when it looks like Marjorie's is going along with the Sparrow's doctrine, and Tommen's just like, I'm a squeaky teenager and I don't know what's going on really. I'm just doing this because people tell me to. Yeah, so I'm gonna give it a middle of the road B. It didn't really knock anything out of the park for me. Nothing too crazy, but I am looking forward to next episode. I want to see how many payoffs that we get in that episode. I want to see a badass fight between the Waif and Arya now that she's got her needle back, and see what else happens. So yeah. So if you like this review, please click that little red button down there that says subscribe. It helps me out a lot. I do Game of Thrones reviews, and when it's during the season, I do Once Upon a Time reviews as well. You can also check those out on my channel. I also do some unboxings, which you can check out. Feel free to poke around on my channel. Let me know, what did you guys think of the episode? Did you have a particularly favorite part? Is there any part that really stood out to you? Let me know in the comments below. I try and respond to every comment I get. And I guess I'll see you next week. Later, geeks!